Hi, and this is Mike Garner from MrMikeGarner.com, coming to you directly for your personal growth and spiritual development. This is another outside broadcast in what is today a very busy house here in my project in Thailand. And all the time I'm teaching from what I believe is experience. Some people say that I'm a guru. I don't. I say that I'm a duru, and that's the first nugget of wisdom I want to share with you. I've said it before, that unless you've had conscious contact, personal five sensory experience of a situation, then really you're not in a very good place to share your experience and offer proper mentoring, coaching, teaching of that particular subject. Lots of people study and then teach. There was a little saying when I was growing up, it was that those that can do, and those that can't do, teach. And there's a lot of examples of that in government and in a lot of institutes where people who aren't very good at the job get promoted and move up the ladder and end up managing people who are good at doing the job. I'm a great believer in grassroots, bottom-up management. A company, an institute, an organisation is only as good as the workers, the people who are actually working with the techniques and know the day-to-day routine of any job. Here in Thailand, I'm pushing myself out of comfort zones into uncomfortable, challenging, stretching situations that make me apply the techniques that I've taught, and the techniques that I teach from personal experience anyway. So I've had personal experience, therefore I've learned something. I've obviously sought knowledge and gnosis from other masters and books, and then I've applied those techniques and I teach them in my way, the techniques that I know work for me, and therefore I'll know that they'll work for you with confidence. And I'm using them all again at the moment. And the one that I want to talk about today in this little short presentation, this nugget of wisdom, is living within yourself. If I shut up for a moment, you can possibly hear crickets, grasshoppers, dragonflies, all sorts of horned beetles and snakes around here, and possibly locusts and scorpions and all sorts of things. Can you hear that? And then the other thing you'll be able to hear is a family over there who've come to visit my project, a Thai family, who are all getting on with it, lovely people, but I'm outside of the conversation. I've got a little bit of Thai. I know a few nouns and a few verbs, and I can make myself understood. I can ask for a drink, a meal, a taxi, go to the toilet, at basics. But I'm not in any way able to converse and have a conversation, which means that for the duration that I'm here, until my Thai improves, possibly never will to a conversational level, I'm excluded. So what does that mean? I mean, I'm not excluded because the family are very gracious and very welcoming. But in terms of being able to take part, I'm not. So I'm on the outside. So here I'm having to apply self-discipline, self-control. I'm going within myself. I'm having a lot of thought time, not a lot of conversational time, and I am a big conversationalist. I love talking, I love laughing and joking. And I'm not miserable here, but I'm learning that I'm listening more than I'm talking. Again, we say you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth, and you should always listen twice as much as you speak. But here it's a necessity, because I'm unable to communicate, and that lack of communication is lack of communion. And we do have a need to express ourselves. So I'm finding myself here, possibly in a situation that you might be in, or you might have been in, or you might find yourself in, where you feel lonely at work, in a relationship. You can be in a crowded room and still feel very isolated, as I am here. I don't feel isolated because I realised that my physical conversation, my physical communication is only a small part of what's actually going on. I can communicate with gestures, I can body language, tone of voice. I mean, I know this from pets that I've had. You know, your dog or cat knows when you're angry. It doesn't listen to the words as such. Most animals can sense a vibration, an expression, tone of voice, eye contact, warmth, radiation of love, or not. And that's how I'm communicating here. But the other thing that's going on for me, and I'm very aware of it, is, as I say, 5 sensory physical communication in the physical world is only a very small part of communication, radiation, attraction, transmission, reception of what's available to me. Here, I'm more tuned into my spirit self, spirit FM, spirit modulation, spirit frequency, rather than human frequency. In the UK, and possibly yourself, wherever you're listening to this, you're involved in radiation and reception on a 5 sensory physical level. And occasionally, maybe when you go to church, or you go to a spiritual place, or you tune into your spirituality, your higher self, you do a meditation or something, or a healing, or whatever you do, you'll then go into Spirit FM, Energy FM. Here it's quite the opposite for me. I'm very much living within myself, communing with nature, not people so much, communing with the elements, and I'm bringing with me from the UK, not that they were in the UK, they're everywhere, but my father and mother who have passed over, so they're with me in mind and in spirit and in energy, and just about everybody in my soul group, in my spirit group, all my spirit guides, my soul guides, my Reiki guides, all the people that I rely upon when I tune in the UK to energy and spirit. But here I've pretty much got them all the time, because I'm disconnected so much from the physical. So being disconnected from the physical is making me very spiritual. When I come back to the UK, I'm going to keep that going. Although Thailand is a very spiritual place, and particularly today that I'm making this presentation, it's the cremation of the king. The king died last year, on the 1 year anniversary of his death, they're cremating his body. So the whole country is in mourning, and that's why I'm wearing black. Even though it's a t-shirt, I'm wearing black. I wouldn't wear a colourful t-shirt today. All the ladies have been told to wear skirts, no jeans, no shorts, to show respect. So I'm showing respect to the king today. God bless, Sawadi. But you can pick up on that vibration. You go to any spiritual place, Lords, you go to a healing well, Holywell healing well, or in Wales where I'm from, or any place that you know where there's chi energy, spiritual energy, a church, a temple, a graveyard, a crematorium, religious place, a shrine, or your own healing altar within your own home, if you do that, if you're pagan or Wiccan. Those places have special energy. Today, Thailand has special energy. In my days as a child, Sunday was a special day. We used to have Sunday dinner because it was a Sunday. I used to put my best clothes on. I think I used to go out and play. Family used to come over. I mean, I was a child of the 60s. But even in the 70s and 80s, I mean, it's only recently that people, well, in my memory, that people started Sunday working, supermarkets being open and all that sort of stuff. So that just shows how old I am. But those days were set aside for self, family, thought, meditation, mindfulness, spiritual time, whether or not you went to church or not. Now, here, it's being, if you like, reinforced for me, the value of living within myself. Not so much expressing through my 5 sensories, because I can't, I'm limited. If I was able to be honest with you, I probably would be doing it, and therefore I would be denying myself and not having the spiritual experience that I'm having. My dreams are on fire at the moment. I wake up without a lot of conversation for people here. I express myself, But that silence, which has been created for me because of the circumstances, and thank you the universe for doing that for me, it is a learning for me. I hope you're getting the point that I'm making on this presentation, which is simply that. Disconnect from the physical. Find time to be alone. Be comfortable being alone. Be with your thoughts. See what comes. Reflect on people who have passed over, that we might say are in the past, but they're not. They've passed over and they're still with you, and all you have to do is connect to them. But while you're in the world, of the world, thinking about this world, you're not going to think about other dimensions, other vibrations and other worlds. And as I say, I'm blessed with this experience of being in a situation where it's being forced upon me, but maybe that's why I was sent here. And I encourage you, and when I return to the UK, I know, as I say, I'm going to keep this practice going. So we live in between dimensions. It says in the Bible, and I'm not a Bible basher, but it does say in the Bible, there's a lot of wisdom in the Bible, a lot of bad stuff in the Bible as well, because it's been written by men and controlled and manipulated. That's another subject. But the Jesus and the God message and the Christ message, the Christ consciousness, taught to be in the world but not of the world. And at the moment I'm in Thailand, but I'm not from Thailand. And when I go back to the UK, even though I'm from UK, I've got to realise, wherever I am, that I'm from God, the grand organising designer. I am unlimited consciousness, dropped into this body, and I am eternal, and I am powerful. And using my ability, my magic, my magi, my gnosis, I can know far more, experience far more by disconnecting from the physical and tuning into my spiritual senses, my spiritual skills, the blessings that are there for me and you and everybody if you give yourself time to develop them by being alone. Seek good teachers, seek people who have had experiences and not just read books. Far too many people go on a one-day course, get a certificate and think they're an expert. Be very wary of those people. Be very wary of people who've got lots of certificates, and look at their lives, look at the fruits of their life. That's another biblical saying. It says in the Bible that by the fruits, in other words, by the results that they're getting, by their lives, you'll know the people who have the knowledge that maybe you want to go and seek and ask. If you're a seeker, find a real seer. Find somebody who can be honest with you and teach the truth. I'll say goodbye now. A friend of mine's just turned up. God bless. All the best. See you next time. Bye for now.